Welcome to a new decade. My name is Priscilla. I'm a Nigerian women's wear designer based in the UK. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 9 tips on how I was able to grow my channel over the last 3 years. I've been able to cross the 200 subscriber landmark, and it took a lot of work, discipline, but most especially the support and sort of like constructive guidance of you guys helped a great deal. So the tips I'm going to be sharing in this video are tips that I've learned from fellow creators on YouTube that I've observed over time, and things that I think would just be useful to keep in mind if you're looking to start or grow your channel in this new decade. Because let's face it, it's become a really competitive market. So be ready to bring your A game on if you really want to have a channel that stands out. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this video. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. I'm going to be sharing more about them later on in this video, but for now, let's get into those tips. So tip number 1, which is the most obvious, is to pick a topic and execute it in a unique way. So there's really nothing new under the sun. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to pick a subject that interests you, something that you see is actually lacking or there is a void in the market to be satisfied. So before I actually came to the conclusion of making like pattern making videos, sewing videos on YouTube, I did a bunch of random things. I dyed my hair, I vlogged for a bit, I did like I did a few different things. So I experimented a little bit. So the way I've been able to sort of address the fashion design aspect in a unique way is to make really detailed tutorials that if anyone follow, they should be able to recreate the garment. So that's my own unique twist on it. So I suggest doing a brainstorm. If you haven't decided on a topic yet, just get a piece of paper, brainstorm a few topics, fields, professions that interest you. It could be painting, calligraphy, building, cooking. There are so many things that you could actually explore, and then narrow it down to your top 3. And to do this, you should research areas that you know you'd be able to make profit from, areas that you know you'd be able to dissect and get so many like subjects and areas and little subtopics to discuss, and something that you would really enjoy. Because the moment you start to make videos on a specific area, it's not like you run out of ideas, but it's easy to get bored very easily. So don't forget to add your own twist to it, though. Your own twist could be how you film your videos, your personality, it could be your filming style, it could be the camera you choose to work with. Are you going to use something a bit more retro so it has that 70s vibe, or are you going to do something very modern, very clean, giving us angles, aesthetic views? Like, just have to do something that makes the subject even more interesting to someone watching it, whether they are a first timer or someone returning back to your channel, so they really enjoy your content as time goes on. So tip number 2 is quality over quantity. So from my experience, I found that instead of churning out videos every day or every other day, especially for the area and the subject that I do, it was better to do videos more sort of like once a week or twice a week tops, because a typical tutorial for me takes me about 3 days to film, edit, voiceover, everything to get it ready. So I really did not have enough time to be doing a new video every other day or every day. So in order to make videos that were really of good quality, that people would enjoy and people would learn from, I decided to space out my videos a bit more. So quality also goes in the sense of the quality of your video, the quality of your audio, and the quality of your content. So when you find your subject area, don't be afraid to take your time to make a video. When people really want something, they will wait and it will be worth their while. Tip number 3 that I learned from a fellow creator here on YouTube, I believe her name is Lizzie Loves, was to really take SEO seriously. So what SEO means is search engine optimization. So these are things that you have to do to make your videos rank higher when people search for that subject on YouTube. So SEO covers your title, your tags, as well as the first 100 words in your description. So the words that you put in your title, the words that you put in your tags, and the words that you put in those first 100 words of your description should not necessarily be the same, but should carry key aspects of the video. Good example is, for example, you want to make a video about how to make a dress. So the title of your video should ideally read how to make a dress. The first 100 words of your description should be something that, you know, is more conversational, but should contain how to make a dress or making a dress. Because when someone then searches for how to make a dress, the more that phrase, how to make a dress, appears in the SEO of your videos, the higher your video would rank on that YouTube search result. So there are other factors that come into play, such as if your video gets a lot of views, or it has high engagement. It also helps like ranking your video higher. But if you're just putting up that tutorial, that title, your description and your tags have to be like synchronized and on point. Also, making really clean, crisp, or engaging thumbnails help like a whole lot, because there are some videos that I've watched that I would not really like be interested in that subject area, but just seeing the thumbnail will make me go, ooh, this looks nice, or ooh, this looks curious, I want to check it out. I'll click and I'll watch. So tip number 4 is branding, and this is something that I sort of discovered with time and I didn't know from the beginning. So branding is sort of like the unique voice or the unique visual that your channel has. With time, you sort of have to decide, are you going to have a more modern, clean, sort of like channel art, banner, thumbnail picture? There are just all these things that they need to correlate together in order for people to be able to get a sense of what type or what personality or what type of brand your channel is. Today I just did like a brainstorm with George, and I wanted my channel to feel warm, to feel welcoming, to have a lot of positive energy, to feel like a safe space where people can come and there's no judgment, whether it's your first day or you're more experienced. I just wanted people to feel comfortable and welcomed in my channel. I had to pass this message across in my personality, the language I choose to speak, the colors I sort of chose, fonts you choose to write text in your videos. They all have to be sort of cohesive as well. All these tiny things that you don't think actually matter, they start to add up with time. Because when someone then sees your video on like YouTube suggestion, they immediately recognize, oh, this is Kim's video. I can see that yellow and blue graphic on the side, or maybe the way I've done my thumbnail, or how, like, it's tiny things that would make people recognize your video and your brand a lot easier. So still on the subject of branding, I recently watched a class on Skillshare titled Branding for Entrepreneurs, Branding in this Instagram Era. I think that's what the title was, and it was by Cindy Ramirez Fulton. I hope I said her name right. And the lady just had so much wealth of knowledge. She talked about how to express branding through your story, how to identify your target audience, and when you identify them, how to sort of like relate to them, collaborations, like all these things that you would not really learn in school and you would not really learn on your own. And I found that class, it was like an hour long, but I really enjoyed that class. And I just took my time watching it, taking down notes. And this is a class that I actually watched on Skillshare. I've been using Skillshare now for almost 2 years, and I've worked with them in the past. And this sponsorship just came very, very naturally. So when they reached out to me to partner on this video, I was like, why not? And they're like an online learning platform where you can learn about subjects covering business, art, marketing, design, editing software, film, photography, fashion, style. Like, there is something for everyone on there. So whether you're looking to learn a new skill or deepen an existing one, Skillshare is definitely the place to go. Skillshare is also really great because you don't have to be physically present for these classes because it's all online. So I've put a link in the description down below. Is the first link, and you just have to click through to join. And because it's a new year and because we're still in that festive spirit, you get a 2-month free premium membership when you join. So like a yearly subscription is less than $10 a month. Sort of works out that way, which in my opinion, because I am signed up to a lot of platforms and I don't mind exchanging money for value, works out to be a really good investment. So tip number 5 is to make evergreen content. And what evergreen content basically means is subject or topics that people would be curious about today, tomorrow, and 20 years from now. So a very good example is how to bake a cake, or like something very simple that you think has been overdone. But believe me, people always want to know how to bake a cake, or how to grill chicken, or how to make pizza. So for my channel, I decided to make sort of like basic blocks because I knew this is something that there will always be people going into fashion school. There will always be fresh students learning about fashion, and there will always be people who are curious about basic pattern and pattern blocks. So I have my basic bodice, I have my basic sleeve, my basic trousers, skirts. So those are like my main evergreen content that 20 years from now, people would want to know, how do you make a skirt block? Or how do you make a trouser block? Or how do you make a bodice block? Or how do you make a sleeve block? So in addition to all of those sort of like evergreen content, don't be afraid to also experiment with seasonal or trend-led content. Christmas, Valentine, Easter. Because the thing with doing those sort of like trend-led content side along your evergreen one is you're able to catch on with a trend that people are just naturally curious about at that particular point in time. People might not be very interested in 2-3 weeks from that day, but you'll be able to catch on those views without actually putting in a lot of work because people are curious about that subject. So it might be the Olympics time, you might do something around sports. Celebrity might have just dropped like a new makeup line or a new fashion line, and people will be curious, oh, what does it look like? What does it fit like? So you might be interested to do, an unboxing, a first impressions, a reveal, because people want to know what the product is like and if it's worth their investment. So be sure to know that those type of videos will get views if you're one of the first people to get it out into sort of the market. Tip number 7 is to be open to learn and improve your skill. So whether it's your video editing skills, your craftsmanship, how you communicate with people, how you make your thumbnails, how you edit your, like whatever skill that you use to make your videos or you use to create whatever subject that you are sort of like addressing on your channel, don't just be content with where you are at that point in time. Always aim to be better, not in a way that makes you feel like you're not good enough, because that's a very dangerous place to be, but aim to, learn something new, improve something new, try out a new filming style. Something I'm very grateful for with my channel is I have followers that will always like tell me, babe, you didn't do this thing right, or try it this way, that would be better, or try this method, that would be better, because I'm speaking to people some people might be a lot more experienced than me, and I'm thankful that they are able to share that experience with me. And I feel like I have learned a good deal from making fashion design videos on YouTube that I did from going to fashion school. So another tip is to be open to collaborations with other creators on YouTube. So it could be someone in your field of interest, someone from the same country as you, someone who you admire, someone who admires you. Just be open to bringing people onto your channel, because whenever you bring someone onto your channel, you also attract their audience as well, which could lead to subscribers, to views, to follows, and so on and so forth. So my final tip is going to be addressing camera and filming gear. Some people feel like they have to get the most expensive camera, the most expensive microphone, the most lit setup and everything, but in as much as I would love to say it's okay to start with your phone, or it's okay to start with, I say starting with a camera that is of decent quality would put you ahead of the game, because man, some videos on YouTube will make you feel like, wow, these people literally have a whole filming crew behind them, and then there's just you with your one camera and your one microphone and your 2 lights, and you're just wondering, this is serious competition. So start out with a camera that is decent quality. You don't have to get something that is like super expensive. There are fairly priced cameras out there that will be able to get you good videos, good pictures, and be able to make good content for you without having to break the bank or having to spend your entire savings. But don't feel like you have to have the most expensive camera to be able to make amazing videos. There has to be a good balance. The camera just has to be, good enough to make really clear, crisp videos, and then your content has to balance out, because if the video quality is good but the content itself doesn't make a lot of sense, then it's just not a fair balance. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video though. I wanted to make this video to start out the year because I actually have some friends who are starting YouTube channels, and I wanted to be able to give useful tips and just put it in a video format, so when they ask me, I can send them this video in all honesty. So I hope this video was useful, helpful. If you have a YouTube channel and if you have any tips that you think helped your channel grow, helped to increase your engagement, views, comment, likes, so on, please share them down below. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.